means king in Ethiopian.
Negus.
Yep.
So
Niggas.
say it. So pronounce it.
Niggas.
Niggas.
Yeah.
Negus. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not negus.
No, it's niggas.
It's niggas.
Niggas.
All right, listen. Before we start this goddamn show, look, guess what I'm going to look up, because
Look
you're
up
not going to be calling
N-E-G-U-S.
me a nigga and be thinking you calling me a king, and you not calling me a king. So
And Google
let's
it.
see what's going on here.
Google that shit.
Nigga, this is a hot drink of port, sugar, lemon, and spices. You gonna be calling me a hot drink all show? That's your plan? See, that's what I'm saying. That's why you gotta Google everything. You can't take nobody's word for nothing, man.
Niggas is a noun derived from the Ethiopian Semitic root nigs, meaning to reign. The title has similarly been used to translate the word king or emperor in biblical and other literature. Go underneath of that, man. Keep looking.
Nah, go underneath. No, what is the main definition?
Look on the Wikipedia.
I'm looking at the dictionary definition
right here. Right here.
I know what you're looking at. I see. I read it with you. I'm telling you, when you look up this word, what it is, and it is a hot drink. Don't go to
Oxford Dictionary. That's the man's dictionary. Don't do that. That's not our dictionary.
No, let me see. After Colonel.
See, Phenom said I'm right. Killer Mike is right. See?
Killer Mike told me.
Yep.
A ruler or the supreme ruler of Ethiopia.
That's right. So from now on, when I say niggas, I don't feel bad. We are kings. We are descendants of kings.
Amharic Ingus King. That's what I'm saying. Are you sure you're saying it right? Let me see. Let me turn my phone up so I can hear the pronunciation.
You really gonna try to call me out in the middle, right in the pre-roll? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Are you sure you're saying? No, hold on. Let me.
Be that guy.
Let me pause. There we go.
Negus.
It's Negus, like I said. So if you're gonna say it,
I'm not calling you a Negus. I'm putting some slang on.
No, you can't, or else you're going to be calling me
Negus.
Both of them are. They're both pronounced the same.
Niggas.
It's Negus.
It's niggas.
That's what I'm saying. It's just wrong. Don't call me that.
I'm calling you niggas.
I don't want to be your hot drink.
That's I can do better. Anyway.
For the last time, you can't. I'm as good as going to get.
Shit.
All right.
So real quick, what? Okay, this camera you're looking at right now.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to be at once I finish the
right.
clicking and the clacking over here.
Who are you looking at?
Yeah, so like I'm gonna be here, and then from time to time you might see me look here, at comments and things. But I'm gonna be
on Twitch now. I'm looking at
Twitch.
You look good. You look good.
Yeah. So we're straight. Let me see if I can to better accommodate you, sir. Let me move my life around so that you're not. Okay, there we go. How's that?
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Now we're having a conversation.
Okay. You right? So do you know where we're starting from?
You said, yeah. You said, yeah. Just tell me. You'll start, and I'll follow. Go.
Well, okay. So you want me to name the topics, and then you're going to go into. Okay.
Go with the first. You don't have to name the topics. Go with the first one.
Well, I mean, but I put them in order so that they flow.
Go with the first one.
Right.
And just ask me about it. Then we'll go from there. Don't be difficult.
I'm trying to be thorough. I wasn't trying to be.
Sass coming out of you, man.
I wasn't trying to be difficult.
Sass. That's what I get from you. Sass.
Oh Lord, I forgot why we stopped doing these.
All the damn sass I get.
Okay, everybody, this is the pre stuff. Hey chat, hey everybody, we're just talking and funning and stuff before we get started. So you ready to go? I'm about to go ahead and do the intro.
Go.
All right. And well, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Serious here with my man Adrian, and I just want to say one thing: we are back.
Back, baby. We're back. We're back. Baby. We're back.
Nice
We're
long hiatus, break, time to recollect and get ourselves together. Watch the world spin. Look at news cycles, all that other stuff. We're back to give you a varies of topics and have conversations and give you our perspectives in a very, very balanced way, because we are the Black Balance. So first things first, I do again want to say hello, chat. Anybody that's viewing us, appreciate you checking us out on
Yes, sir.
Twitch
Supporting black businesses. I
and
see.
Facebook. Do appreciate you. Adrian, how are you, man? How you been?
Serious. How are you, sir? I'm rather good. This is a good week.
It's a good week.
It's a good week. Everything is flowing so far.
Well, tell me about it briefly, man. Just tell me about your week, man. What makes it good?
Man. A little stressful at first, but works good now. You know, all of our podcasts are coming back. We are doing what we should be doing, what we were meant to do. Give the world this content.
Manifest destiny.
What? I don't really like that because
no, it's got that bad. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't murder a bunch of people to get where I'm at. So
okay, I got you.
But I will say, from the hiatus that we took, I have dove more into history and learned a lot more, and realized that a lot of shit's fucked up.
You've realized again?
I realized again. I realized how much more it's fucked up.
Okay.
I realized how our last episode was attacking Vanilla Isis, right?
Yes, I believe so.
That was an episode to go off on.
That's the one that shut us down. For anybody who knows, when you cover a story like that, they shut you down. We didn't get shut down.
But what I'm saying is that was that episode and that moment we're doing live when they were attacking the Capitol, man. So a lot of things have happened since then. So, as we all know, they attacked the Capitol.
Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't you want to know about my week?
Oh, you know what? I apologize. Go for it.
My week was my week was normal. Go for it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was it. My week was normal.
Nothing exciting?
No, I mean we're back on all fronts, man. We're firing on all cylinders. We've got all our podcasts up and going again. We've even added a new segment to what we do. We're all active in the chats and looking for stuff to talk about, and it's like you said, man, it's been fun. We haven't done that in a while. We all kind of, we all communicate on a daily basis anyway, but for a while it was like, things were kind of slow. Everybody kind of went their separate ways, and life. They went to do that, and now that we've kind of collected ourselves, and we came back and we put our heads together, and we kind of got more refined in what it is that we're doing and how we want to do it, and it's just that whole conversation about that stuff. It's been good. It's really made my week.
I honestly think for all of us, it's been good. I can tell as the chat's been going on throughout the week, we've all been like releasing and laughing, and so we all been on a lot of stress. Not front about that. We all been stressed out doing our individual things, but then I think we've all realized what we really want to do. What our not manifest destiny, but purpose. And what our individual contribution to the ecosystem.
And just in case chat and anybody watching is not familiar with what it is that we want to do, we want to talk to each other while talking to you guys, pretty much. We want to bring up interesting topics, and we want to all learn from each other and check out the perspectives, and this is what we want to do.
Entertain the masses and actually I think we all felt that the podcast we were listening to, and I'm going to knock them all, we're not giving out factual stuff. This stuff became too much of an opinion and not really facts. I've listened to podcasts for the past 4 months since we stopped doing ours. I'm like, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. No, look that up first. Because those podcasts with those huge platforms that we're going to get, and I'm throwing it out there, they have a responsibility to be factual. I understand it's entertaining. I understand that, it comes from people's opinion, but certain topics they touch on, you got to be factual about that shit.
Well, that's where we might disagree on that one. Not might. I disagree with you on that one, because I think unless you establish yourself as the news, something or a place where people can come to get the facts, then other than that, you can pretty much just say whatever it is that you want to say. Everything else is opinion based.
True, but we're all entitled to our own opinion, but not the facts. So if you're sitting there and you have millions of followers and you're spouting just your own type of factual shit, people are gonna start to believe you. They go, oh, and that.
Yeah, there was that guy that did that. You remember?
Yeah, and that ties me into this shit.
Oh.
Now, after 1-6, right? They decided, you know what? It's Donald Trump's fault. All the GOP stood up and said, hey, he shouldn't have done that. A week later, he barked at him. They all fucking bent over like a couple bitches. Because now, all they want to do is say, oh, it wasn't an insurrection. It was like only a couple hundred people, breaching the Capitol. It was like a tourist event. These folks have seriously trying to tell us you don't see what you see with your own eyes. You don't see that. They're telling us we did not see people getting beat with sticks and one guy with a crutch and an officer didn't get dragged out of the Capitol and beat to the inch of his life. One lost an eye. 2 committed suicide. The black officers in the Capitol Police, Capitol Police is predominantly black, being called the other with a hard R, the N with a hard R, the hard R.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like missing the fact that an officer, a black officer, Eugene Goodman, saved the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
He saved all their lives.
Well, no, he got his due. They recognized him.
Yeah, but now they recognize it. The Democrats recognize it. Republicans clapped their hands. But what they're doing now, they're saying, you know what? It didn't really happen. We don't need to look into that. We have other commissions looking into that. No, don't do that. They don't want what they don't want. They don't want because midterms are coming up. You realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the House is coming up for midterm elections. The GOP does not want Americans, such as ourselves, looking at footage from them lying about 1-6. So what they do? Hey, don't worry about it. Never happened. It's like a Jedi mind trick. It didn't happen. That's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Nancy Pelosi, another politician, I can't say I agree with everything she does, but she's a Democrat, so they've decided to have a 1-6 commission, like a 9/11 commission, to really get down to the nitty gritty on why this happened. What
happened, why it happened, and
the failed security stuff. How did they get that far up the hill? Why did they let him in the gate? Were any officers involved in this? All that shit you would think you would want to know if somebody trying to take your capital that has not been breached since 1812.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans are like, nah, we're good. You guys are being mean to the rioters. And a Republican actually said that. You're being mean to the rioters. That line, I can't make that shit up. You're being mean to rioters. Are you shitting me? This is the world that the GOP lives in, and all because Orange Superman ran his fucking mouth on Twitter, on fucking any place he can go, and fed these people bullshit.
Well, wait a minute. Now, I'm no Trump savior, but he hasn't been on social media in quite some time.
Now, that's the reason why. Now, you got to think, he hasn't been on social media since, what, January?
Mm-hmm. It's been a while. Now, imagine if he still was on social media. But yeah, what
I'm saying to you, on the day the election happened, he said, I didn't lose.
Uh-huh.
He said, Fulton County, the blackest county in Georgia,
mm-hmm.
Michigan, the blackest counties in Michigan, all those people of color counties, that was bullshit. No, they lied. No. So what you have now, people are walking around and saying, no, it was stolen. It was stolen. You cannot steal an American election because every state does it differently for a reason.
Well, to go back to what I was saying briefly, I'm not saying that he didn't sow the seeds of
sowed, watered, you know what I'm saying?
Well, then that's my point. So I would say that he sowed the seeds, but right now what you're saying is, as far as Republicans today are saying, is that what we saw on 1-6 didn't happen, which I would say that they're the ones that's watering the seeds that's sown. Even now that that person who's planted them are gone, they're still trying to fertilize the land into something that is not true.
Because they're scared of them.
Still.
Yeah, they're still scared of him because they know he carries white voters. White, non-educated voters vote Donald Trump. And that's like a 30 to 42% of the electorate. So that's a lot of votes he's carrying because he's become their dear leader. Mm. So if we buck him, we see what happens. You get kicked out of office. You don't have a job anymore. You're a pariah politically because you're speaking the truth. Like, he's become like, if you tell the truth, we don't want that. We want you to lie. Like Liz Cheney. Perfect example. Mm-hmm. Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, Dick Cheney, the orchestra of Iraq and all that shit, right? The guy who loves war. Mm-hmm. His daughter is a congresswoman for Wyoming. All she said was, it happened. It was Donald Trump's fault, right? Mm-hmm. That's what she said. She was the third most powerful Republican in Congress. Right?
She was up until she said that.
She was. They voted her ass out of power. Mm-hmm. She still has her seat, mm-hmm. but they voted her out of power because they said she was not focusing on the right message.
She won a team player, man.
That's what they said.
We got a playbook here. If you're going off on your own playbook, making up your own plays, bro, like. Yep.
That's exactly what they said.
I can't use you as my point guard if you out here calling your own plays.
Yeah, you calling audibles and shit. Like, hold up, man. We knew what are you doing? And that's what she did. And they voted her ass out of fucking her power because she said that. Then when they voted her out. Now, I don't agree with nothing she believes in because she's a hardcore conservative. Mm. But she believes in the truth, so I can fuck with that a little bit.
Then a hardcore conservative that believes in the truth.
She's a unicorn. Mm. So when they voted her out of office, she came out to the cameras and said, "It's Donald Trump's fault." Yeah, he had. She said, "I'm going to make it my mission that Donald Trump will never hold office ever again." She said that. And what she did was, she's like, "If you're gonna vote me out, I'm gonna play into this shit."
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, fine. I am unshackled. I'm gonna win my seat again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up for re-election anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So fuck y'all." And that's what she's doing. Because Donald Trump, that perverted, racist, orange, fat, greasy, 12 sandwich eating, nasty.
We're still going to harbor that much. All that for him.
Smelly,
still
nasty fucking asshole. Still controls the GOP. They're gonna have to form a third party. They're gonna have to. There's no choice.
You're saying the GOP is gonna have to form
another party. Because right now, the crazy people are running the party. Mm. You have a guy who's accused of sleeping with 17-year-olds, still going around the country doing tours. Talking about I'm being falsely accused, and there's receipts. Matt Gaetz.
Oh, still, listen, I started following the Matt Gaetz story when that shit first dropped. I kind of fell off because I just assumed, oh yeah, man, with these receipts, this dude is buried. Like, he's still like, oh.
Then you got him and that crazy white woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Mm-hmm. This broad is trying to get in the fight in the middle of Congress with AOC. AOC's from the Bronx. She gonna wash her ass one day, but she trying to be professional. She is following her around Congress, trying to bother her and talk to her. Debate me, defend your issues, debate me. AOC is like, what the fuck? Why? You're a nobody. She says the most craziest shit, and that's what she gets news coverage. Mm. So, and those two
sounds like some plays out of a particular playbook.
Yep. Mm. Those two are the new Donald Trump acolytes. Those are his minions.
The Trumpeteers.
I love that.
I'm good.
The Trumpeteers.
I'm good. I'm really good at what I do.
You're good. That's what they're doing now. They have literally taken over the GOP. If you are smart, if you are rational, even people like Mitt Romney, who's like ultra conservative, they're trying to get him out. If you don't believe in Donald Trump, you do not belong in the GOP, and that's what they're doing. And that right there, my friend, is the reason why the GOP is dead. Mm. Even though the political parties in our country are like really outdated.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need a four political party system in our country. We need a liberal wing, a conservative wing, a moderate wing, and the fringe wing can go someplace else because not everybody believes in the same shit. You know what I'm saying? You got the umbrella of you're Democrat, you vote for Democrat. That means you are under the umbrella of, oh, I'm a Democrat. But what if you're like, I'm extremely liberal, I'm extremely progressive, but I have no other party to vote for?
But I don't know, man. Like, I don't think education right now is in a place to where we're really, because I personally believe, no matter how many parties get split off, whatever the party system may be, because Democrat and Republican have been the mainstays for so long, it's just like, unless there's a vast like re-education type system to get people to understand as far as voting for your interest, you're either going to vote Democrat or Republican every single time.
Because we have no other options.
Exactly. Like something drastically has to change, and that's what I'm saying in terms of re-education.
I think the slow burn is happening right now. I think the slow burn with the GOP is happening. It's a slow burn, and we'll see what happens. The midterms are going to determine where we're at. If Democrats hold the House, the GOP is going to have to flip its message. They're going to go, oh, we got to get away from Donald Trump. Now, if the Democrats lose the House, oh, we're screwed. But now they're going to go, oh, Donald Trump is our guy. He's what everybody believes in. So let's act this fucking crazy from now on. I mean, because just like for example, the 1619 Project. Okay. Those of you who don't know what the 1619 Project is, this professor from North Carolina State who just lost her tenure for publishing it. She's like a Pulitzer Prize winner. She's MacArthur Genius Award winner. She's like highly acclaimed, right? Her and a bunch of other historians, writers, economists, a whole group of people, think tank, came up and researched and did history unbiased, right? Did an unbiased telling of history. Mm-hmm. The GOP is fighting this shit tooth and nail. They do not want this taught in schools. Texas is stopping it. Georgia doesn't want it. Of course, all the southern states, you know. They are fighting this tooth and nail because what critical race theory does, it teaches history unbiasedly. That's all it does. Mm-hmm. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't say all you were right or all you were wrong. It says this is the unvarnished version of history. What actually happened.
If you teach an unbiased version, it kind of paints one particular side as being really, really bad.
It's called facts, bud. It's called facts. And this is what and this I say is the little nugget of fortune cookie with Donald Trump. He's we needed him. We needed to wake everybody up to realize that shit is fucked. The shit that happened, the history that's happened in this country, it's fucked. There's no other way to paint the picture. Mm-hmm. You can't look at the history of the country. Oh, it was such a romantic time. It was so great. Oh, and the horses going to pick up the little land in Oklahoma. The Sooners. Oh, the Sooners. People lived there.
Oh wait, were you talking about Manifest Destiny?
Yes. I brought that back.
Eventually, I was going to get back to it. Yeah, good job.
But you see, if you paint the real picture, of Columbus being a murderous rapist. Mm-hmm. The real picture of slaves being in the country since 1619, mm-hmm. Real picture that they almost wiped out the Native Americans, literally wiped out a whole race of people. Mm-hmm. Literally, every major war was about, empire building. Mm-hmm. You can tell all that bullshit about we're here to save. No, empire building. If you tell the real story, after World War II, the reason why we became a superpower, we bombed every place else.
Sent them back a few generations.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Then we
reset their timers a bit.
Then they were like, no, we got you. We got you. That's what we're going to do. We're going to loan you some money. We're going to help rebuild your country. But you know what you can't have? You can't have an army anymore. You can't have an army. Does Japan have an army?
They got Gundams, bro. What do you need an army for when you're building Gundams?
Well, true. But what I'm saying to you is,
Robots,
if you teach like Woodrow Wilson, the bridge is named after his ass in D.C. Stone cold racist. Stone cold racist.
Mm.
If you do this right, if you do the teaching right, you're going to wake up not only people of color, you're going to wake up those people who happen to be white.
Like who though?
Those people who happen to be white, like my wife, like my friends who are interracial couples who didn't know about certain things.
But
what? Go ahead.
Aren't they already woke?
No, you'd be surprised.
So the people who just so happen to be white aren't already woke?
They're not woke, and woke and all that shit. That's all stupid.
Are they not aware?
They're not. They're aware, but they're not totally aware because they were taught the same shit we were taught. Now, if they have a preference in dating somebody of our skin tone, our features, and they end up with somebody like us, that's love, great. But do they know the true history, what's behind that? No, they don't.
Because I'm just trying to.
Go ahead, I got just my fan. Keep talking.
I'm just trying to get the exact definition of the term that you're using when you say people who just so happen to be white. What definition makes them, like, what makes them just so happen to be white? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Allies. That they recognize, it's just like they recognize the disease and they want to be a part of the cure, not the problem. And they don't get defensive when you say this and this and this. So because the problem with the white folks, they get defensive. Well, my parents ever owned slaves. We're not saying that you personally, unless you're stone cold racist and you're throwing out the N-bomb and segregating yourself from black people, true. We're not calling you racist. We're saying the system that this country was built on is racist.
So what I'm saying is, like I said, so those who are aware. Those who are aware. That's what I'm saying. So they're already aware of the situation. So we're not. The plan shouldn't be necessarily to make people who are already aware more aware. They're aware already. So the people that you're reaching out to, as far as the people who just so happen to be white, they can't be the ones that we're trying to reach.
No, they are the ones. Those are the ones that are going to help, because those are the ones that people are going to listen to more than us. Because here's the thing: it's not our job to fix this.
So the ones that need to be reached are just white people.
Yeah.
Now
we can't fix this. We didn't do this. Mm-hmm. We didn't build this system. We didn't create this system. Mm-hmm. Now, what we're gonna do, those of us people of color, those people having white, what we're gonna do is dismantle the whole fucking system. It may not happen today, it may not happen 10 years from now, but it's gonna happen because people are more aware, and you're able to grab education from your phone. Mm-hmm. You can Google from your phone. You are more accessible to education than you ever were before in your life, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm in high school and I'm taught for 1 month, all Black History is 1 month, which I was taught, right? Mm-hmm. How would I believe any other? The things that I think about now that I went through when I was younger, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Oh, you're one of the good ones. I heard that all the time. Oh, thanks. What the fuck does that mean? What's one of the bad ones look like? You know, it's just, I'm talking about, and I will say this, every line of this country was built on a racist ass system. Every line of it. You have to dismantle all of it, from the criminal justice system. Our education system is indoctrination. It's not being taught anything. You're being indoctrinated. That's what you're being. We have tried to indoctrinate our people into believing we are the best. Fuck everybody else. If you're a brown country or you're in the sand, you're wrong for that. If you're overseas, you're a savage. Even the way they care, even the way they depict people overseas in media, the color schemes they use when they're showing the Middle East countries in movies. You know, everything that's done is to perpetuate that if you are brown or darker than brown, You're something wrong with you. You're a third world country.
Mm.
How come we were never taught about Haiti? Haiti defeated the United States, France, and Germany.
So, hey, I don't mean to cut you off on your rant there.
I'm sorry. I did a little rant. My bad. But you do it too.
Are you able to dig yourself out of the hole?
What hole am I talking about?
To get back to the topic that you were on?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay.
So, here we go. I can get back there. So, after everything, right, they don't want history being taught the way it's supposed to be taught, because if they do, they will not get the votes.
Right.
They don't get the votes, they will not be in power. If they're not in power, they can't keep shit the way it is.
Which, as wicked and evil as it sounds, I totally understand.
So do I. It's a power play. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to control people, keep them dumb. That makes complete sense. Why? How come you think when we graduated high school we weren't taught about taxes and credit and how to buy a car and all that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Keep us dumb. Keep you poor. Why not? It's the best way to control people. Come on, man. That's why the GOP is dead, man. They don't care about education. They don't care about facts. They care about Donald Trump and licking his ass. Up the crack. This all the way up from the ball to the taint to the top. Get that description out. You know, think about that one.
Moving on. Yeah. So, tell me about the Democratic Party, man.
So, in my humble opinion,
because I do remember you have very strong opinions about the Democratic Party.
My humble opinion, Democratic Party being a bunch of pussies right now.
Mm.
Because you have the power. Wield that shit like it's yours. Because when Republicans have power,
they're doing stuff.
Here's the thing. I understand Joe Biden is doing everything we want him to do. So far, he's batting 1,000, right?
But he's not signing. He's not signing them black hate crime bills.
Wait. Now, what he's doing is calling for. He wants to be the president of the whole country, which he should be, right?
He's an American president. He wants to be a president for Americans.
But here's the thing: 78% of the country want gun control. 82% of the country think women's right to choose. Let's see about 75% of the country are on the side of critical race theory. The majority of the country are on the same page. What he's trying to do is reach that 30%.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to get them. Fuck them. Fuck them twice.
Fuck 30%?
Yeah, fuck 30%. You know what? They don't care about us. They give two shits.
But if I already got all these other people on my side, they already see the plan. So my only job left is to try to get the people who don't quite see it.
Why do we keep reaching out to people that don't want it? There's people who think Joe Biden's a pedophile. There's people who believe.
Did he make a trip to Epstein Island?
No, he never did.
Oh, okay.
There's people who believe that the wildfires in California were caused by a Jewish laser. Hand the guy from space. It's a Jewish laser in space.
Can we prove that that's not true?
What?
Can you prove that that's not true?
So you're saying the absence of evidence is not the absence?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not going to. You can't prove it. Now I'm positive. You can't do that.
You can't prove that's what she's standing on. You can't prove that it's not true. So,
but that's how they argue. That's how they do that. I found Bigfoot. Prove that I didn't.
Well, well, I'm gonna need you to show like some pieces of Bigfoot if you say you found him. Like, I'm gonna need you to present him.
Well, look,
if you say you found him, like, I'm like, all right, we'll bring him here.
Have you ever seen Bigfoot?
But a Jewish laser in space, something that I can't see, I'm like, all right, well, I can't prove that it didn't happen. So, look, Trump said it happened because we don't sweep the floors in California's forest. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff. We got dried leaves and twigs and stuff just all over the floor over there in California in the forest. So
they gotta work on those leaves, though.
Of course, like a little heat, man. It's just gonna spark shit up if we don't. We gotta sweep the floors.
Well, the problem is that we're not taking that trip to the South Pole to get to inner Earth. That's where paradise is.
That's a big deal. That's what we're ignoring constantly.
That's what we're ignoring.
So inner Earth. So I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, prove it.
But back to what I was saying about Democrats being pussy. they're not wielding the power they should. I'm fuck reaching out to 30%.
But
man.
you just said they're batting 1,000.
No, I'm saying not. I'm batting 1,000. They're not literally like they said. They passed an anti-Asian bill.
Yeah.
That fucking fast.
Man, that was super fast. Like
that was fast as shit.
2 Asian people got hit, and it was like, yo, we need to pass this bill.
But we're getting murdered on live TV on a regular. It's a weekly basis now. A black man's getting killed.
At this point, I blame Kamala.
Huh?
I blame Kamala at this point. Like, she should be, like,
she won't do so much.
You're literally our rep in that office, bro. Like, I'm gonna need you to holler. We did it, Joe. Now we need to do it again and pass this bill. Like, I need you to get in this, to call this guy.
And I don't want to. And I want people to realize I am for the anti-Asian bill. I don't think any Asian people. There's not the kung flu, none of that bullshit.
Oh, of course, yeah, man.
I'm glad they did that. But what the fuck do we have to do? Like, what do we have to do to get a bill passed that said you cannot beat up black people who you're trying to arrest? You cannot deny us houses. You cannot devalue our house. You cannot discriminate because based on our skin tone. You can't do that.
We've kind of been through it all. So what haven't we done to get it yet?
We didn't march. We've never marched on the Capitol and got in there. They'd have mowed us down like motherfucking.
They gonna shoot us because we ain't got that bill. We should wait until they give us that bill and then do that. Then they can't do it.
If it was an armed insurrection of black people storming the Capitol, Army of the Dead, that's what it looked like. They'd have been mowing black people down like it was nothing. I'm dead serious.
Headshot. Well, Mark believes that Biden is a puppet, just like the rest of them.
I believe he's a puppet for the puppet for Democrats because I don't think he will either run next time or if he does win, he might die in office.
Damn.
He's old.
Yeah, but like, is his health? So is Trump. Like, is his health failing that bad? Trump had a diet of cheeseburgers and from McDonald's, bro. Like, what are you talking about? So Biden,
come on, man. How many people you know are?
I'm sure Biden's up there eating fruits and berries and shit, bro. Like,
they put every super serum they got in that motherfucker.
What do you think he's gonna die in office, bro? Jesus.
Sometimes he looks a little shaky, man. He looks a little bit like, oh, bro. Hey, watch him.
Nah, man.
Whenever you cook up in a lab,
he falls up one flight of stairs, and then everybody gets his. People trip all the time, and then you try to catch yourself, and then sometimes you trip again. Like, it just happens.
Well, listen, at that age, you can't trip. A trip is a hip.
A trip is a hip?
Trip is a hip.
A trip is a hip. At that age, a trip is a hip.
Yeah.
But he's fine, though. But he's
cool. Don't get me wrong. Joe out there with the shades on, cool, smooth guy. Got his black partner with him. He out there chilling. I got this. Don't get me wrong. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But the whole reaching out, fuck that. Don't reach out for no bipartisan shit. They don't care.
Then what else are you doing in office?
Trying to fix the country. That's what he's trying to do. He needs to fix the country. The country is unfair. Why don't we have a high-speed rail system?
Because, like, what's going to end up happening is if you don't get the people to understand why these things need to be done, the second he's out of office, they're just going to reverse everything anyway.
But you cannot teach somebody who doesn't want to be taught. You know what I'm saying? These people, if you believe that Joe Biden and the Democrats are running a pedophile ring at the top of all power of Democrats, I can't argue with you. If you think Jewish lasers are causing wildfires.
But if you live in a shack and I give you money so that you can live in a house, you're more inclined to believe what it is that I'm telling you as opposed to the crazy stuff.
And that's why the stimulus.
But so then that's the point of me reaching out to you.
Yeah, but I don't
look. You think crazy because you're living crazy, so you have no choice but to think crazy. So let me improve your quality of life so that you can have more of a means and more of a reason to actually listen to what the hell is going on. Listen to a change that needs to take place. I think if you're going to be you can't just say no to those people. That's how Trump got here in the first place. Everybody said no to the poor whites all those years, and it was like, all right, well, fuck it. Well, this dude said he'll do it for us, so. And then he didn't do it for him, but he said he would, so they was like, all right, cool, we'll vote this dude in.
But I'm saying, why are we letting the poor whites control the rest of the country? That doesn't. Why is Mississippi?
No, what you're saying is, why are we reaching out to them in the first place, or at all? I'm saying we should still try to reach out to those people who don't agree with progress. We can't not reach out to them. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, is it going to be hard? Yeah, sure. But like, if you make an effort, like I said, because they're people, because you're you're the president. So you're all Americans. Let me make quality of life good for Americans so that we can all see ourselves as Americans.
But they vote against their best interest.
Because they still live in shack houses, bro. Trump came through and they do shit for them,
look, bro. Mitch McConnell has one of the poorest states in the country. And this motherfucker been in Congress since the 1800s.
Damn, Mark, what you writing in here?
I mean, Mark has a point.
He did trip upstairs. And was fixed during other presidents. It would never be fixed. I don't know, man. At this point, we just surviving. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how much I can agree with that.
Listen, if you go back in history, you look at Herbert Hoover, right? The guy who sank the country in the Great Depression. After him was FDR. What FDR did was change the country completely. He did the country to 180. What he did was Social Security, different programs, different incentives, different farming programs, different educational systems. He fundamentally changed the country, right?
Yep. About to prove my point for me.
But listen, even though he changed the country, Republicans Jim Crow was still there. Mm-hmm. People still vote against their best interest when he was going to listen. These people of color, they are an asset. They are a wealth to the country. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, but they're black. They look funny. Their music sounds different. But I'm going to steal that music anyway. And their food, and their outfits, and their whole swagger. And just give me all of it. But Joe Biden has a chance to do what FDR did ×2. He has a chance to take us into the actual 21st century. We can have electric cars in 2 years. We can have electric school buses in 2 years. But this bill that he's proposing has all that shit in there. Education, paid maternity leave, all the shit we should have. But Republicans are going, nah, it's too big. But that's too much. That's too much. You can't give them all that. Why you give them all that? But you know who would benefit from all these benefits? Republican states.
All them poor whites?
The poor whites would benefit all of this shit. They would benefit from a high-speed rail system. They would benefit from unions getting paid proper wages. They would benefit from a proper, like you're saying, pay me more, get me out of that shack. Mm-hmm. Republicans are voting against paying people $15 minimum wage nationally.
So go ahead.
Man.
So go ahead and make go ahead and make my point for me.
What? So what's your point?
Again, if you stop reaching out to those people, then the people who represent them are just going to continue to do whatever the fuck that they want. But they can only do what their constituents allow them to do. So if you continue to reach out to those people, educate those people in order for them to say, hey, look, this guy that's representing me ain't really representing me. He's keeping me from making $15 an hour.
Well, how long do we have to wait for that? How long do we have to wait for them to catch up?
How long does it take to change a person's mind on anything?
Our ancestors were enslaved, and they have had a head start. And yet still, we're all like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Let's do this. We're going to vote this guy in to do this. Those folks have had a head start, and they're still voting for the stupid shit every single time. How is Mitch McConnell still in office? He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to tax companies. He doesn't want to give you health care. He doesn't want to give you a stimulus package. He doesn't want to give you money. Oh, you had COVID? Fuck you. I'm sorry. Fuck you, pay me.
Listen, I'm not saying it's an easy road. Nothing is an easy road. What you're saying is we should just give up on this portion of the country.
Yes.
I'm saying no, that would be dumb to give up on that portion unless you're going to get rid of them. They're still going to be there. They're still going to be fighting against their own interests.
75%
and if we just leave them to their own devices without properly trying to educate them, then yeah, they're just going to be left to think that way, and we're always going to be in the same cycle they were always in, and nothing's going to get done.
No, what's going to happen is they're going to die off. They won't have health care.
That's not true.
They won't have education.
That's not true. And that's not true. Because what they're going to do is they're going to have children, and they're going to tell their children to become sheriffs, and they're going to tell their children to become judges, and they're going to tell their children to become politicians. It's the same cycle that's going to continue every single time if you stop trying to reach out to them. They've been surviving all this time. What makes you think they're going to die off? They don't have cellular service out there. What makes you think they're just going to die off? They've been surviving until now.
So basically, they're on an episode of Lost.
Sure.
They're just going to be out there. I hear what you're saying.
So if you stop reaching out to them, you're just going to keep perpetuating the same cycle.
I hear what you're saying.
I understand you guys want change to happen in your lifetime. Unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Get reborn later. That's all. That's the only advice that I can give you. But right now, that change isn't going to. No, I'm not being pessimistic about this because I'm saying in order for progress to go forward, you have to reach out to them. That's not a pessimistic.
They don't want to be reached out to. They don't want to be reached out to. They don't.
Hey man, sometimes babies don't.
They want their guns. They want their guns.
Hey, sometimes when you're a child, you don't want to eat broccoli, but hey, you have to eat your vegetables. You have to find a way to make it taste good.
Only thing, what I like to do,
if you improve their quality of life, they'd be more open to listening to this Democratic president. That's like
you would think,
look, man,
right?
This dude just do this.
They
just got shammed for like how many years Trump was in? What, 4 years? They just got shammed for like 4 years.
Mitch McConnell beat out a woman Air Force colonel.
They wasn't ready for that.
That was woman Air Force colonel who served in Desert Storm, who's an active combat fighter. They voted Mitch McConnell back in.
It should have been a male. They're not ready for that. They're not progressive people. They're not ready for a woman to represent them.
So why the fuck are we reaching out to them then?
Because, man, the wrong person just ran. That's all. Try something new.
So what do they need? A white guy who's a combat veteran with a Democrat?
And you need a white guy that just so happens to be, what did you call him?
Just happen to be white?
Just so happen to be white. There you go.
You can't when racism is such a deep part of that identity.
So you're saying that, again, we should just leave these people to their own devices.
They left everybody else their own devices.
All right, man. I'm just saying you're wrong.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on that one because you know what? They left the Native Americans, they left the Asians, they left everybody else, and shit on every single country, and then come back here. Hey, how come my life's not better? Look at the fucking people you elected. Your fault. My president gave me a $1,400 check. The guy I voted for, the guy who works for me, he's giving me everything I need. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy who I voted for, did my research on. Oh,
you think you're so hot with your $1,400 check and your car that doesn't take gasoline and it runs off of lightning? You think you're so cool, don't you?
It runs off of lightning. The car that runs off that lightning.
Think you're so hot, don't you?
You're such hot shit. You and your new age therapy and yoga and taking care of yourself and all that shit, and not working 80 hours a week. What's wrong with you? You commie. You want a better life. Are you crazy?
You can't give up on those people, man. You can't. And if anything, yes, like older people they do get stuck in their ways. They are a lot harder that shell's a lot harder to break through, but you have to find a way to educate the children. You have to find a way to plant seeds for the future for something to be better, man.
I agree with you because of social media. Their children will be more well educated, and there will be a lot of risk in those families.
Maybe because the thing about social media is you can be very selective to what it is that you choose to.
That's true. Also, you can't find your own group.
Yeah, so
you can't find your own niche in the whole matrix.
Yeah, man. Dead air. Let's not do this.
I'm just staring at you because it's amazing. Go ahead.
Because I'm amazing. I appreciate you, man.
Nah, man. But what I'm saying is that I understand what you're saying, and I understand that your point of view is that. What I'm saying to you is, fuck them.
Jesus Christ. All right, man. Well, hey, look, we've got our positions. Chat, you've heard both of our sides. I'm not going to ask you to vote because I feel as though you all would be voting against your own interest, and you'd be wrong.
I wouldn't be wrong.
But I totally think Adrian is wrong in this situation.
You can think it all you want, Playboy, but I know I'm not wrong.
I don't think you can just give up on people, not as something as serious as this.
They don't want to be held, bruh.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Did you have any other thoughts on the 1-6 commission?
I think it's not going to happen.
Okay. Oh, so this is something because I've been out of the news when Trump. I'm gonna be honest. When Trump left, nigga, I was like, "Whew, I could take a break from watching the news," which I'm sure everybody in the country did, because when he was the president, you had to watch this nigga to make sure.
No, I took a break. I literally took a break and started watching politics. But you know what? Then I started, inching back into it, and I'm like,
"That's your thing." Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I never thought that in a million years, if you'd have told me on January 6th when we were doing a podcast that Republicans would have turned around 2 months later and tried to deny what actually happened, I'd be like, nah, man, it actually happened on TV. It was live. People were there. We see it happening. We shot a person on live camera. We saw it. They were barricading themselves in. They had gas masks on. It was some real shit.
Yeah. I remember the phone call you gave me. I had no idea it was happening. I was on my way home from work, and you called me, and it was like, "Yo, they stormed the Capitol." What are you Who stormed the Capitol? What are you talking about right now, dude? You haven't been watching the TV? No, man. I'm just getting off of work. What are you talking about, man? So I remember all of that, man. That's
what I'm saying, and that's the reason why I started watching again. Not to stress myself out, because I'm not taking it as serious as I was when Trump was in office. Because every day you wake up, we could be at war with somebody.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like the audacity of it is like, it's actually fun to watch. That they spin themselves in pretzels the way they do is amazing.
The nerve of these people. The audacity.
The boldness
of these people. How dare they expose the Jewish space lasers? What is she thinking, bro? God damn it. Like, that's why I got my little space background here, because if you see in this corner, in the brightest star to the right, that's it.
That's right there. Found it?
That's the one. That's the one.
I'm gonna give you a GOP phone number so you can go ahead and hang out with them.
Hey, I'm sure it'll be a good time. There's no doubt in my mind that I'll probably have a good time.
A lot of beer drinking and gun shooting.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it'll probably be a fun time, man. Pick up a beer, pick up a gun. Let's go shoot some stuff, man. Let's go. All right, I'm with it. Let's be careful with these space lasers, baby. Listen, man, get me hip on this Israeli Palestinian conflict. I keep turning on social media.
Okay.
Sean King keeps posting about it. It all looks very sad. I see things getting blown up. I see people dying, and I don't.
For what I can gather, and doing some research and looking at some YouTube videos and stuff like that. So, the land of Israel is such a there was no Israel until 1945. 1946, 47.
Hey, you guys.
1948.
This is history.
1948. There was no Israel until 1948.
He's a history guy.
So what happened was, now, for a long period of time, in Israel, there is the Christians, the Jewish people, and all Muslims consider this a holy land, right? Because Muhammad supposedly rose from one of the places. Jesus is supposedly Jesus is buried there, or
the tomb.
The tomb
he rose
is there
from that place.
Yeah, and Christians and Judaism kind of like intertwined in that way. So after World War II, European Jews had nowhere to go, right? And the UN decided, well, this is your supposed homeland here. Now, the Palestinians, the Arabs, the Jewish people and Christians have been living there for centuries in relative peace, right? Relative peace for that region. Israelis showed up and said, well, this is ours. Gimme. So they started moving people off the land that they've been there for centuries. So they've had there's been 3 wars, right? In the time period between 48 and now. The last skirmish that just happened was basically a buildup of tension, because you have Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the prime minister of Israel, who's kind of like a smarter Donald Trump.
Okay,
right?
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Because
Donald Trump has some smarts, boy. I don't know.
because they feel these lands are ours.
Mm-hmm.
We have a birthright to these lands. So if you're a Jewish kid in this country and you have family in Israel, you have a birthright to go back to Israel. We'll get paid for a 10-day trip of exploring Israel. That's the kind of birthright of all Jewish kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can also go there, and they can steal houses and take and move people off their land and say, hey, this is their birthright. So what they did is split up Israel, right? You have the West Bank, right? And you have Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the group called Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. One people is terrorists, another group's freedom fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hamas is like, fuck Israel, fuck all Jews. We don't recognize you as a country. We don't want you, right? The Palestinians are like, we just want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us alone. We just want to live. Now, Palestinians are basically living in an apartheid country, right? Where they don't have really any rights. There's checkpoints in and out of Gaza. There's checkpoints in and out of West Bank. You know, the police can do whatever they want to. Israelis has arrested like 700 like kids 16 and under in the past 2 years because they militants. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you got to think, if you don't have an army, what are you going to use? Your body, explosives, the terror attacks we've been seeing, right?
Okay.
So that's why the Israelis decided we're doing checkpoints, we're checking all this stuff out, which we don't want because we don't want you blowing up Israeli citizens. Makes sense. They have a right to defend themselves,
Okay.
right? Now, we've always called, what the United States would call for a long time, the two-state solution. Split up the country, let Palestinians have one part, Egypt have one part, and do not make Jerusalem the capital of Israel. Because in Jerusalem, everybody worships there,
Okay.
right? Israel's like, no, this is ours. You guys go here, you go there. The rest of this shit's us. And what United States have done, because we have such a high Jewish population in our country, they are partners with us. They are allies. We go different wars, part of the UN. We've given them a thing called the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is a missile defense system that protects Israel from all the rockets coming in, right? So Hamas or somebody launch rockets and stuff like that. Most of the time, they shoot down 80% of them, right? Now you have Gaza, where it's really packed in there. It's dense population because it's not that big of square footage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hamas is based out of Gaza. Now, Israel's been launching rockets into Gaza for the past 11 days, they've been going back and forth launching rockets at each other. Now, I think like 58 Palestinians have been killed, and 58 Israelis have been killed, and like 2 or 3 children. But on the other half, like 300 Palestinians have been killed, and like 58 kids have been killed because they don't have an Iron Dome. Right. They don't have any protection like that. They have Hamas. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I can go more into PLO and other things we're not going to do all that right now. But so what's happening? Israeli Benjamin Netanyahu was launching rockets into Gaza non-fucking stop. Now, in the old days, you wouldn't see half the shit that was going on. No cameras.
Yeah.
No social media.
Yeah.
Now you have Palestinians with cell phones, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. So you're seeing everything. You're seeing kids 6 months old being pulled from rubble. You're seeing people getting killed. And Israelis are like, we have a right to defend ourselves. And people are saying, we understand you have a right to defend yourselves, but you're killing women and children indiscriminately because you're saying, well, Hamas lives in that building right there. That's Hamas headquarters. So the whole situation is truly complicated. You know what I'm saying? Because both people have lost a lot of people on both sides, more Palestinians than Israelis. The problem is that this country has a don't ask, don't tell kind of policy when it comes to like Israel. Like we don't touch them, we don't bother them because Jewish people support a lot of different parties. The Christian right likes the fact that Jewish people are controlling Jerusalem because Christians can come there freely. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that Islam is a quote unquote civilized religion. You know, so all of that all that. It's racism, it's classism, it's believing in the Bible in different aspects of it, and not reading it fully and not translating fully. It's all of this mixed into all of this. That's why the situation is so fucked. In other words, that's why children are getting killed. That's why people like AOC and Bernie Sanders are playing. We should not give Israel any more money until they figure out a way to come to a peaceful decision on how to finally figure this out. Right. Because, like you said before, all this does is perpetuating the same thing over and over and over again. But you've been hearing about the shit since we were kids. But now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, if I don't got an Iron Dome, you shooting rockets and killing children. And plus you have the Palestinians, not Hamas, the Palestinians in an apartheid state. Are you the oppressor? I mean, you were once the people who were oppressed and murdered in the millions, but now you're oppressing a whole other group of people. Are you right? Is that you know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it boils down
to. It's messy. In other words,
it's extremely messy. I mean, and I personally I care, but it's not like at my forefront.
Yeah.
Because again, history is taught by the winners, and there's so much shit that's fucked up. We have to start over. We have to have re-education, like you're saying. We have to educate people why this is happening, what's going on, where did it start, how did it start. And if you don't do that, this is gonna keep happening. Because you're not gonna. I mean, if your religion says that you have a birthright to a certain land and you are, this is me, this is part of my identity, you're not gonna give that up.
Right.
So I mean, that's basically what it is.
That's
It's very messy.
Goddamn, man. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know. You're the history guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know if I was going to ask anybody, it was going to be you. But yeah, I didn't know. I'm watching a lot of, like you said, TikTok videos and Instagram videos and stuff like that with no context as to like what's happening, why it's happening, things like that. So yeah, man, appreciate you definitely sharing some light on this topic.
That's what I do, baby. It's a Black Bounce podcast. We're gonna give you informed, factual shit. We're not gonna give you all the bullshit opinions. I can't tell you who's right or wrong in the situation.
Asterisk on factual, yo. Asterisk on factual, maybe.
I think killing children are wrong. It's a wrong thing to do.
That's bad. Shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't be bombing buildings and where we have children in. You should have a little more indiscriminate when you're doing that. Especially in 2021, where we can have laser guided shit and all that stuff, and you're still just destroying women and children regardless of whatever.
That's bad. Shouldn't be doing that.
Palestinians have killed a lot of Jews too.
Hey, listen, man. We here at the Black Boundless podcast, we like peace, and
we love peace.
We don't like messy conflicts like that, yo. Like if there can be a solution, a peaceful solution made, let's do it. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? All right. Well,
let's do lighter. Do something lighter, man. Let's do something light.
Well, we're at the last thing. We're at the last topic, and then after that we'll wrap it up. But listen, you're the man with the plan that knows a lot of stuff. And one of the last topic that I want to talk about, that's not really politicky. We've been politicky a lot.
We had to catch up. We had to catch up.
We did have to catch up. We've missed out on a lot, man. We've been gone for a while. But the idea of therapy, I wanted to touch on that. I don't have any information about that at all. I've never been to therapy. I don't really care to go to therapy. But you are on the other side of that fence.
Yes, I go to therapy. Absolutely love it.
You have experiences, and yeah, man. Like, give me a little bit on that.
I and you asked me this question before we started. And I've been thinking about it sitting there. I think the reason why therapy is a must, especially in the Black community, because we're constantly living in a PTSD. We see people like us being killed every single day. We are learning more about how history was stolen from us. Our own identities being ripped the fuck away, right? So, if you have been raped, you need to figure out a way to deal with that anxiety, that depression, that PTSD, right? So I think that therapy helps because it's an unbiased opinion and you can actually get some shit out that you didn't realize. I've been in therapy sessions where all of a sudden it clicks. Like, oh shit, that's why I do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what happens. Oh, that's why I'm aggressive this way. And it helps you work through shit because our parents didn't go to therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Our parents are like, you know what? Uncle Earl's crazy. Put him in the back room. Uncle Earl could be depressed. Uncle Earl could be extreme anxiety.
Right.
You look at the 80s and the crack epidemic. You think that people weren't escaping something? You think they weren't escaping poverty through drugs? Escaping life, the racism through drugs? If I'm high all the time, I am not feeling any of that shit. You know? Mm-hmm. So therapy to me is when you have so much trauma that we've had in our lives, and we've all had trauma, and you don't deal with it, it manifests itself in other ways.
Yeah.
And then you can't figure out a way, why did I get here? Why my relationships don't work? Why am I so aggressive? Why am I so timid? You know? Why you know, you gotta think of we're an age of black men that were told you're not, if you cry, you're weak. That's a part of your body says release this emotion to make you feel better. We say no, keep that shit in, you sissy. Then you have people going out punching people for no reason, all beating on women, doing all this shit. And you're like, go see somebody, talk that shit out. You know, let that shit out. I mean, you gotta think the kind of trauma that, matter of fact, everybody. You gotta think about in the 50s and 60s. It's okay to beat your wife. That was okay.
Was it okay, or was it just something that you didn't speak about outside of the house?
No, we're spoken about with people like I gotta tune her up a little bit, make sure she's okay. I've heard people say that.
Wow.
I'm talking about like the older generation, not us.
Okay.
Oh, not us.
Never had a conversation, never heard a conversation.
No, man, listen.
Tune her up back at the house? No.
You got to think. Back in the day, it was a woman was subservient. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you like the conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin in this conversation, where she tells him, fake it for me. You fake it for him every day. But I come home and get the wrath of your anger. You beat on me, but you can't beat on him. Fake it for me. And that's because that person does not know how to deal with that kind of depression, that anxiety, that fear, that anger. You don't know how, you don't have the tools to process that shit.
So what are you saying that if that person had therapy or went to a therapist, they would,
if he had some, and not necessarily therapy, if we just decided to go, our feelings are real. Mm-hmm. You don't bottle your shit up. You tell your friends you love them. You demand to be treated a certain way, and you don't put up with it. If you have trauma, you work through it. You don't push that shit down and let it manifest someplace else. You know what I'm saying? I have a theory. You want to hear my theory? Mm-hmm. Here's a theory. Here's a theory. You know, most serial killings took place between 79 and about 99.
Are we about to go from the black struggle to serial killers?
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Follow me in this one.
Okay. I'm on a journey.
You're on a journey with me. So you got to think between 79 and about 99, right? Serial killers were popping up all over the country. People just murdering people, going back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. So those folks were probably born, what, in the 50s for the most part?
Sure. Because most of the serial killers were like in the 30s and 40s, shit like that. Even the Grim Sleeper, he's 70 years old, so he was born, you know, in his 70s and 60s. The Grim Sleeper has 99 bodies on him, right? Okay.
93. He was born in the 70s to a mother who was a prostitute, right?
We call them women of the night. But go ahead.
Sorry, women of the night.
Yeah.
So you got to think the trauma that he saw, right? Mm-hmm. Growing up. Then you take the rest of them serial killers. If they were white, all them serial killers back then, their parents were baby boomers. Their parents were they were in World War II, or they lived in that time period of the Dust Bowl, all that shit, one of the roughest times in history in the country.
Okay.
They were white.
Mm-hmm.
All them parents beat on their kids, treated them like shit. You know what I'm saying? sold their kids, all this shit that happened to them, right? Because their parents, we didn't know about therapy or talking to people back then, right? So you take all them people, take that group of people, right? That the baby boomers were born between after World War II, they were in World War II, had kids, had 7 or 8 kids, poor, whatever. All that trauma is passed down to these kids now, right? These serial killers. They don't know how to deal with their repressed emotions. They don't know how to deal with their sexual urges. They don't know how to deal with their gay. They're not allowed to be gay. You know what I'm saying? They're not allowed to do all this stuff. Now, some people are born evil, no doubt. Some people are born evil.
I don't think that.
But wait. If those folks had therapy, mandatory counseling in high school, in the early ages of your mind developing and being taught, okay, this is not that's right or wrong, but this is not the way you should function in society. There's other ways to channel this negative energy. Why do you feel this way? Well, my mother was a prostitute. I'm sorry, my mother was a woman of the night. I saw her got beat by her pimp. I saw her being choked on her neck. Oh, necks. I love necks. Oh, I have a thing for necks because you've taken that perverse thing and you think, well, he seems happy when she's choking her. Maybe I'm gonna relate that to sex. So you take all these repressed people, all these crazy thoughts that they don't get to talk to anybody about. They don't get to express it and work that shit out and work through it. This is what you're getting at. Now you have a generation of serial killers. You have a generation of cokeheads, crackheads. Keep going forward. Keep going forward with that. Then you could move to our parents' generation that never dealt with anything. You know what I'm saying? They find religion. They find this. Now you have all the cults in the 80s because people are not dealing with their emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you install therapy or counseling in any part of those people's lives, you don't have that shit. Of course, you have your one-offs, but the mass majority. You know how many people? There was at least at one point in time in America in the 80s, about 30 to 40 serial killers roaming the country killing people. Just dropping off bodies. And no one caught on to it. Because normal people don't do that. But these normal people have so much trauma. Every serial killer I have ever listened to confess or talk about has had a really fucked up childhood. Like, beyond fucked up. My mom burned me with an iron, or my dad beat me with a stick and locked me in a room with a dog in a cage. Or it's really fucked up.
So, here's my argument to this.
You gonna argue therapy?
I'm gonna argue therapy.
Oh, go for it.
Well, I'm gonna argue the timing of therapy, because if, as a child, if you're in a situation, well, as a child, you're in a situation that you have no control over. You don't have a control over who your parents are. You don't have a control over how you eat, where you live, where you go. You're pretty much whoever is caring for you, or the lack of care for you. You're there. That's you're not in control of that. If you go to a therapist and you tell them about your feelings, your experiences, what it is that you're going through, and this therapist helps you in any ways that they see fit, you still have to go to an area where it's out of your control. So it's not like anything is going to change. Yeah, I've got these tools, or yeah, I've got now. I know a song that I can play in my head whenever it is mom's yelling at me, but like, you're still going to get yelled at whenever you go home.
No. What I'm
now,
saying,
I do think that if you're an adult and then you go to therapy, where you have more control over your life, who you interact with, what you see, what you don't see, what you hear, what you don't hear, then yeah, therapy, I believe that will help you more. But as far as your example with serial killers and their childhood trauma, which turned them into serial killers, they were probably going to be serial killers anyway, because they had to experience that trauma every single time that they went home, despite the fact going to therapy every day.
But here's what I said, though. But if you take their parents and interject counseling after World War II, the shell-shocked people, they thought, oh, you're just shell-shocked, you're
that
fine.
Woman of the night has got to make money
to
pay those bills. She don't have time to go to therapy.
Why are there women of the night? Because women weren't paid as equal as these men. Women couldn't find a job. If you're a woman, you're not shit.
What's that, politics? We don't have time for that. These people need therapy.
what I'm saying to you is that the you can tie a line straight back to therapy and racism is the reason why our country, the crime problem in our country is that reason. Because we don't believe in taking care of our children. We talk about it. We talk about that stuff, but do we really believe in it? Because if you really want to take care of the kids, you give them all the opportunities in the world to be successful. You give them counselors. You pay your teachers more. You teach them the right shit. But if you don't care about them, you don't give them the therapy, then you turn loose a bunch of crazy motherfuckers.
I don't think you believe that as a parent.
What?
I don't think you believe that as a parent. You're a parent. I don't think you fully believe that.
Believe what? What do you mean?
What you just said.
What did I just say?
What did you just say? Why do people do that? What did I just say? You know what you just said.
I want to hear. I want to know what you think I just said.
I don't think you believe that. I think that you try your best to the best of your ability with the means that you have to take care of your children the best way that you see fit. Of course, in a perfect world, and if you have all the resources available to you, yeah, sure, man, I've got extra money. I need to pay these teachers.
We're not there
I need to get. Yeah, what I'm saying is, but you're trying your best. Any regular parent, any middle class household, poor household, if you're a good parent, you're trying your best to raise whatever child that you have the best way that you see fit. So you're not always going to have the resources of paying for a therapist. Or if that was the case, if that was the case, therapy should just be free across the board.
It should,
but it's not,
because we are now coming into the age of mental health.
It's still not free. We're in the age of mental health, and it's still not free.
It's getting closer to being free. It's cheaper than it used to be.
Is cheaper.
Back in the day, only rich white people went to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Talkspace and BetterHelp and getting insurance and having counselors on the insurance payroll, you can get help. Mm-hmm. Now I feel we're getting closer and closer to the point where it's going to be a lot more mandatory in school. What do you think you got school shootings and shit for? Let me tell you something. You know how cruel high school was back in the day? You think about it now, going back now, like, fuck. I'm surprised we didn't have more school shootings. Because we were savage. Calling people the F word. Calling people bitches.
What's the F word? Oh, that word.
That word.
They were doing that, when I was going to,
but what I'm saying is,
no, I don't, yes, high school
it's horrible.
It's terrible. Well, it
terrible.
Can be terrible.
It can be terrible.
But the thing is, what makes it terrible is the attitude that students have to one another, the bullying and blah, blah, blah. Every negative stereotype.
Because they
every negative stereotype, sure.
But they don't know how to process those emotions.
All that comes from home.
And because your parents are from a generation who said, fucking suck it up, bitch. You know what you got in trouble? Pick one. The belt, the hammer, the belt, the wrench, or the switch.
It's getting beat by a wrench. Nigga, did you get beat by wrenches?
No, not wrenches. No.
I've never heard a person who had that.
I'll put it this way. Our parents whooped their kids. They whooped them. You know what I'm saying? Our parents beat our ass. We, as a generation, we don't touch our kids like they used to. I beat my kids. I've spanked my kids. My youngest ones, never.
We are doing a podcast, so there is no reason to incriminate yourself at all in any shape, form, or fashion.
Incriminate myself.
All right, I'm just saying.
I'm using myself as an example.
Mm-hmm.
As generations go by, you evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you learn more information, you figure out more, you just get smarter and smarter. And go, oh, that's not the ways that raise a kid. So if I tell my kid not to hit other people, but I beat his ass on a regular basis, what am I teaching him?
Not to hit other people.
Yeah, but if
you step out of line, I will beat your ass. That's what you teach.
Yeah, but then so my reaction to you beating somebody's ass is me beating your ass. That's a fucking circular argument. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me.
How do you fix a problem like that?
I'm still learning. Because it's a struggle, because you're like, that's what I was taught.
Mm.
But to watch your child crying and being scared of you, that's a horrible feeling, man. You see that fear in your child's eye, like Who what? No, fuck
The
that.
fear, that's me not having children, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the error in that is your child being afraid of you and not being afraid of doing wrong.
Your child is afraid of the consequences of doing that. And the consequence doesn't have to be my dad punches me in the face or my mom knocking down a flight of steps.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
Knocking me down a flight. You are just going to the extremes of these
This
disciplines.
is not extreme.
Bro.
This is shit that's happened to people I've known.
Jesus Christ.
Or go outside and pick your own switch. What kind of psychological terror is that? I go pick the weapon and beat my own ass? You've just fucked my whole head up.
I've done it once. I'm fine.
Nah, you got. I understand the healthy fear of your parents but the healthy fear should be of disappointing your parents, of shaming your people, shaming your parents who have done everything possible to make you a good person. Now you have done something you know was wrong.
That's worse. I think that's worse than the physical discipline.
It is worse, and that's why you have.
So why would I want to subject my child to something worse than the physical discipline? I'd rather pop you. I'd rather pop you than you feel like I'm disappointed. And now you got to go above and beyond and all this extra shit just to get my approval back. No, nigga, I love you
man,
forever.
It got to be a nice balance. I don't think hitting your kids is the way. But what I'm saying is, therapy. You interject therapy anywhere along that timeline of parents and our grandparents. You don't have the issues you have today because now we learn how to process our emotions. We can tell another grown man that's your friend, I love you. You can say, hey, I feel this way as a man, especially men. We are told to bottle everything up, suck it the fuck up, work your job for 30 years, retire, live out your life, then die. That's what we're taught. A midlife crisis is not a midlife crisis. A midlife crisis is an awakening to realize, holy shit, I've been doing it wrong.
I've been doing it wrong all the way up until this point.
I've been doing it wrong up until this point. That's what a midlife crisis is. And that's what we were told in the 80s. Oh, he's got a midlife crisis. He got a Porsche. And no, I can afford a Porsche. I want one. Why am I driving a station wagon? Why am I not living my life?
Because you're going through a midlife crisis.
Whatever, man.
That's why you go get the Porsche.
In my summation of this, therapy is something that should be free, not mandatory, but highly encouraged in school. I think we do less of school shootings. I think we can do less of beating on women, less of abusive relationships. I think if we know how to process our anger, process our grief, process our PTSD, we can be better, mentally healthy, better people.
Well, I think that if you're in a relationship where you're getting beat on, period, you should probably just go. I don't think you want to wait for him to go to therapy.
Yeah, but sometimes you're like, you know what?
Nah. No.
That's another subject altogether.
There's some things therapy just isn't going to fix, and you getting your ass beat is one of them. You should just leave.
It was that easy. There'd be a lot more people leaving. Anyway, in summation, go to therapy. It's great for you.
I'm still 50-50.
At least one time. Just to say you did it.
I'm 50-50 on it.
So what else we got there, partner?
Nah, man, that's it, man. It's a wrap.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. You and your Jewish relations done a good job.
Hey, listen. They do.
It's good to be back. I'll tell you that shit.
Yeah, it does feel pretty good. I want a podcast too, nigga. Well, we don't say the nigga anymore. What is it? We say the nigga.
Niggas.
The niggas. It's niggas now, legend.
It's niggas, but I'll let you go.
It is. It's niggas.
It's niggas.
It means a hot drink.
It's not even a hot drink. It's king in Ethiopia. Shut up.
Hot drink. With lemon and water. It's a hot drink. That's the niggas we're going for. But anyways, that's a wrap. Hey, Adrian, man, you did real good, man. Welcome back.
Hey, man, it's good to be back. It's good to be Negra. Okay. I don't know what that means. No, it's good to be back. I honestly think, and I will put this out in the chat in the ecosystem, we're going to be big. I feel it.
Okay. Well, Adrian feels it. Chat, if you all could feel it too, that's more energy that we can put out into the universe. I feel it. Our friends and family feel it. So come on, man, let's all feel it. Let's all feel it together.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Let's all just, it's a feeling, and let's just take turns just feeling it. You know what I mean?
What?
and then feel it, and then we bring it up, and we just put it out. But you gotta feel it first. So yeah, you gotta feel it first. It has to
feel it. You gotta hold it.
You gotta hold it.
You gotta hold it.
Grasp it.
Hold it. Grasp it.
Don't drop it. And then
hold it.
Yeah, and you just. How
long are we gonna do this?
You just feel it, man. You know.
Well, guys, tune in next week. We're gonna be consistent this time. We're gonna be with you on Sundays. We're gonna repost this on Thursdays, Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't decided yet. But we're taking the world by storm, folks. A balanced, factual opinion, if that's possible.
A balanced, factual. Well, look, you heard the man. I've got no reason to say otherwise. You heard a balanced, factual opinion. What you said. Anyways, hey, look, appreciate you guys in the chat. Everybody checking us out, man. Hope you like the topics. If you all have any ideas for topics that we should talk about next time, feel free to hit us up. Man, we've got stuff that they can contact us on, right? Like all my people that know me, you all know how to get in contact with me. I got to get my screen guy's not here. My mod guy's not here. He usually does the stuff. I suck at this. Anyways, I'm cutting off now. I'm leaving now. We're leaving now, man. Love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Peace.